Hello, everyone. Welcome to my new show. It will be starting in a couple minutes, in a few minutes, on Damon Looks. It's so cool. I'm so excited. We will be starting shortly. I just want to say that we're going to be talking about addiction today. I know it's a hot topic because unfortunately everyone knows someone who struggles with it. So my subject today is addiction. Is it a disease? We're going to be starting in a couple minutes, and then the show begins. And I just hope I can enlighten everybody and bring some really cool thoughts for you to think about. Okay, so I'm just waiting for Brother O to come hang out. Some of my friends, guests, speakers. Okay, if they want to call in, on other shows, they're always welcome to. This is a little different today on YouTube. We're doing it live, and I don't really get call-ins and all that yet, so we're working on different things with that. But the show will begin in a couple of minutes, and it's one of my favorite subjects because I love helping people, and see what happens here today. I hope I can help someone out there. So, yep. I'll be starting in a couple minutes, guys. Show you my book cover. I'm not an addict. I'm just an ass. I'd rather be a smart ass than a dumb ass, guys. That's right. That's right. So, got some interesting things to talk about and tell you. All right. I'll be back in 1 minute. Hello, hello, hello. I'll be starting my show in 1 minute, guys. That's right, 1 minute. Here we go. So, this is exciting. So many great things are happening. Damon Looks picked me up. Wow. So exciting. So, I will be starting in less than a minute. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jerry Petito Show on Damon Looks. Today, I've got a really great topic because, unfortunately, everyone out there has either been affected personally or by someone they know with addiction. So my show topic tonight is addiction. Is it a disease? I want to talk to you about all this. So this is my book. I'm not an addict. I'm just an ass. I'd rather be a smart ass than a dumb ass. My face is on the donkey I drew because I was an ass 28 years ago. I was a dumb ass. Now I'm a smart ass, guys. That's right. And I'm here to help anyone out there who's struggling with addiction. So what I want to do is I want to read a poem to you guys, okay? That's very, very near and dear to me. This is the last poem in my book. And the reason I want to read this is because I want you to really understand who I am. I don't want you to judge me. Don't judge a book by its cover, okay? I'm also a recovery coach. I'm also a nutritional health coach. So I put my heart and soul into helping others, okay? With no judgments. Change, your choice. I had a life-changing moment that I knew had to be. The only way to change things was to first start with me. So I looked in the mirror and woke up one day and thought to myself, I needed to pray. So I asked God to change me, to help me stay strong, to clean up my mess, to right what's been wrong. I cleaned up my diet. I cleaned up my room. I cleaned up all habits with this old dirty broom. I kept going forward and never looked back. I refused to derail, stayed on the right track. I realized my worth and all that did matter through my selfish behavior, the lives I had shattered. I finally decided at 30 years old to stop abusing my body, my mind, heart, and soul. My life-changing choice that I had once made over 25, actually over 28 years now, guys, my debt has been paid. So you read all my thoughts on how to stay clean. It's all or nothing, my friend. There's no in between. To live or to die is a choice you must make. Your life is not worthless. You're not a mistake. One day at a time is a slogan you've heard. It works if you work it while applying his word. For you to get healthy, for your mind not to fail, escaping reality will keep you in jail. With addictive behavior, sex, drugs, food, or money, substituting addictions, now isn't that funny? I'm not an addict. I'm just an ass. I'm not an addict. This too shall pass. May the good Lord bless you and guide you. So I ended the book with that poem for a reason, to let everyone know that you do have a choice and you should make it today. Okay? I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things that I have in there, and then I'm going to also talk to you about a couple other things here that are very, very, very important, guys. Very important. Oops, sorry. Okay, sorry. Okay, sorry. Things that are very, very, very important. And, everybody out there wants to say how addiction is a disease, and I'm going to tell you why they're taught that. They're taught that because what happens is this. If you have to believe that it's not a disease, then you have to take responsibility for it. But I want to prove something to you guys. I want to prove to you how it's not a disease. All right? The reason why it's vital for me to make you get that is so that you understand you can be helped, you can be cured, and you don't have to suffer with this. So here's what happens. They tell you have a disease in the meetings, in the rooms, right? The programs. They tell you have a disease. They tell you you're powerless over it. Then they tell the family members that your family member who has a disease and is powerless over it needs to hit rock bottom. And you shouldn't help them. You shouldn't be there for them. Let them, if you have to throw them out, throw them out. Don't feed them. Don't give them money. Take their car, whatever it takes. That's never made sense to me. Think about this for 1 minute. If someone you love truly has a disease, you're going to kick them to the curb until they hit rock bottom, but yet they're powerless over it. It doesn't make sense. Okay? So the reason why, here you go, guys. The reason why you're being taught this is to keep them an addict. Financial gain. All right? Keep them that. Because if we can cure every single addict today, there'll be no money for the pharmaceutical industry. All right? But I want to say something else to you guys. We're being brainwashed. And the more we're being brainwashed, the more people are accepting it as truth. So I'm going to say this to you again. If your family member truly, truly has a disease that they are powerless over, you're going to kick them to the curb? Doesn't make sense, right? The percentage rate is so low in these programs, they're doing something wrong. See, that tells me they're doing something wrong. So I want to read a few things to you guys, okay? I want to show you some photos. Here are the 4 stages of addiction explained. The first stage is initial use. The substance hijacks the brain's reward system. Okay? I don't know if there you go. You could say it. Okay? It hijacks the brain. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you what I believe is absolutely truth. Okay? Addiction is a dis-ease of the brain while using. Well, any addiction. It could be sexual addiction, guys. It could be food, right? Gambling. anything, pornography, anything, mental, physical, right? It doesn't matter. Drugs, alcohol. Once your brain is hijacked, your brain cells change. They're altered. They can't perform now. So that is a dis-ease of the brain cells while using. But the good news is this. The good news is your brain cells can change. In 1 year, your brain cells can change. Okay, that means you can be healed. So I want to give a shout out to Damon Looks out there, Brother O, he's out there, Dario, hi sweetheart. This is an important show, guys. This is a very important show. This could save lives. Okay, so is addiction a disease? No, it is a dis-ease of the brain cells while using. There's a big difference. If you have a disease with addiction and you're powerless, you're never going to get better. If you have a dis-ease of the brain cells while using, and I can teach you how to heal those brain cells, you can now get better. You're no longer powerless. Okay? Got that? All right. So the first stage is, like I said, initial use. The substance hijacks the brain's reward system. Here's what happens. Okay? Positive reinforcement, chasing feelings of pleasure. That's what we do. Okay, that's innate in us. We all want that. Okay, it's human nature. Okay, negative reinforcement, chasing feelings of relief. See, we all want that as well. So we want the good feelings. We want relief. We all want that. Compulsivity, a pathological craving sets in. I'm going to show you this photo. Okay, guys? You see? That's what happens. Okay, now, you ready? Recovery. Recovery, guys. It's more than just abstinence. It is more than just abstinence. This is so important for you guys to really understand. So now I'm going to read some things to you. In my book, I talk how it's not a disease. I talk how you're not powerless. My book was written a few years ago. I was only 25 years clean and sober. Today, I'm 28 years. Okay, and I'm going to tell you something really amazing that has happened to me 28 years later. I helped a friend get into a rehab. It happened to be Princeton House that I was in 28 years ago. I never stepped foot back on those grounds from the day I left. When she got into Princeton House, about 15 days later, she said, Jerry, I'm passing your book around. You got to come back. Come visit me and bring like 6 copies. I did. You know, it was very emotional for me, I got to say, because when I pulled up, I started getting a little, I almost cried. I did cry a little bit. I called my daughter. I said, just talk to me a couple minutes. It's the first time I'm driving back here. I took some photos of the outside. Parts of it are new. Here was the most amazing thing that happened to me that day. The same building that I walked out 28 years ago, I walked in holding my books on addiction. I got a photo of me inside Princeton House with my books on addiction 28 years later. The reason why that's important is so everybody out there understands anything is possible. Do you think I thought 28 years ago I'm going to write books on addiction and help people with addiction? No. Hi, Dominic. I'm here to tell you all, every one of you, anything is possible. Don't give up on your dreams. Okay? You are not powerless. Forget that. That's crap to me. The only time I get emotional is when I do shows on addiction, when I'm trying to tell you the truth. So now I write this book. I put in all this stuff. You know, I have some haters about it. Oh, nonsense. Well, no, it's not nonsense. I just read about a year ago, someone else came out with a book, you know, a scholar. Okay. What did they say? It is not a disease. I laughed and said they had to have read my book because I'm not kidding. I really believe they read my book because they have stuff in here, verbatim what I said. Okay. I want to read some things to you. There are, speaking broadly, 2 schools of thought on addiction. The first was that that my brain had been chemically hijacked by drugs, leaving me no control over a chronic progressive disease. The second was simply that I was a selfish criminal with little regards for others, as much of the public seems to believe. When it's our own loved ones who become addicted, we tend to favor the first explanation. When it's someone else's, we favor the second. This is not from my book. This is from the New York Times, quoting out of this book, okay? Someone else's. We are long overdue for a new perspective, both because our understanding of the neuroscience underlying addiction has changed and because so many existing treatments simply don't work. Are you kidding me? They read my book, okay? All right. Once we understand that addiction is neither a sin nor a progressive disease, just different brain wiring, we can stop persisting in policies that don't work and start teaching recovery. People with addiction just need to learn how to redirect it, okay? Do you understand? You need to learn how to redirect it. 100% truth there, all right? So here's what I want to say. Wait, there's something else. Let me read one more thing to you guys, okay? All right. I'm going to read 2 or 3 more of these things because this is important. I highlighted from this book, someone else's book, everything that was in my book that I agree with. Addiction is indeed a brain problem, but it's not a degenerative pathology like Alzheimer's disease or cancer. I used both of those diseases in my book. I know they read my book. Nor is it evidence of a criminal mind. Instead, it's a learning disorder, a difference in the wiring of a brain that affects the way we process information about motivation, reward, and punishment, guys. And as with many learning disorders, addictive behavior is shaped by genetic and environmental influences over the course of development. 100% fact, 100% truth right there, okay? Storm's Cadence. Hi, sweetie. Hi, guys. King's Cadence is on and his teammate. Hello, everybody. Talking about addiction here, guys. It applies to all of us. Like I said, not just drugs and alcohol, right? Could be food addiction, right? Sex, porn, anything. And here's the thing. You could be addicted to something really good, like me. I'm addicted to cleaning and having everything neat and organized, okay? I love color. You can see behind me. This is my office. I love color. I'm an artist. Okay, those are my books up top, my pink and purple books. That's me. I'm addicted to healthier things today. The things I'm addicted to keep me healthy. So we all have that addictive behavior, right, guys? But let's put it to something positive. Let's change our thought process. Okay. Studies show that addiction alters the interactions between midbrain regions like the ventral tegmentum and the nucleus accumbens, which are involved with motivation and pleasure, and parts of the prefrontal cortex that mediate decisions and help set priorities. Do you understand what that means? So we all want pleasure. We all want to feel it, but we have a way of kind of justifying our thinking process to make it fit our needs, right? To make it work for us. That's what we have to learn how to change. Okay. In essence, addiction occurs when these brain systems are focused on the wrong objects. A drug or self-destructive behavior like excessive gambling instead of a new sexual partner or a baby. Once that happens, it can cause serious trouble, okay? Serious trouble. Understanding addiction from this neurodevelopmental perspective offers a great deal of hope. It doesn't completely eliminate free will. After all, no one injects drugs in front of the police. This is incredible. Think about what I just read. No one injects drugs in front of the police. This means addicts can learn to take actions to improve their health, like using clean syringes. Think about that, okay? So that's what I want to talk to you about, choices. And I want to talk to you about how you can really understand that it's not a disease and they are not powerless, okay? I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story. All right. This show is going to be in 3 parts, by the way, because it's definitely needed. And if I have to go longer, I will. I don't care how long it takes me to save a life, okay? But right now, this show is going to be in 3 parts, guys. 2 weeks from today at 12:30 is going to be the new time, and we're going to have part 2. So whatever it takes for me to really get you to understand that you are in complete control of your life, your health, your happiness. I'm going to tell you my story now. I'm an open book. I'm an open book now, guys, right? It took me, I wrote this a few years ago, so it took me till I was 25 years clean for God said to me, write your book. Okay, and I wrote it with his help. This book was written in 3 weeks. Archway Publishing through Simon & Schuster picked it up in 5 days after I sent it to only them. Okay, I was told by someone who helped me type it, whose uncle has passed, but he had a publishing company. She said, Jer, we're going to have to send this book to about 50 different publishing companies because you might not get published right away. I said, no, stop. God told me to write this book. True story. My mouth to God's ears. This is what I said. God told me to write this book. It's going to get published immediately. I am only sending it to Simon & Schuster. Okay, Jer. Not only did I have her name also as our contact, because I'm technologically kind of challenged, so I needed her help with this. Anyway, I get a call 5 days after she submitted it to Simon & Schuster. She was on a two-way, and she said, Jer, are you sitting down? I said, yep. She said, I've got Simon & Schuster on the other line. And Simon & Schuster said, hello, we're the newest division, Archway Publishing. We love your book. We're publishing it. I said, thank you. I know God wrote it. True story. So now I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about my story. Okay. David Mackey, he's online. Hey, Mac. He is a good friend of mine for a long time. I'm going to share some things with you that I can share, okay? So he is also an addictive counselor. We agree on a lot of things. We disagree on some things, but it doesn't matter because we're both on the same track when it comes to God and it comes to helping others, right? So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story, and then I'm going to tell you how God just relieved me of everything recently. So here's what happened to me. I was a teenager, and Mackie, I'm an open book. It's right here, baby. Telling my story. I was a teenager. I lived in Robbinsville. My house, my uncle's house was here. We had a neighbor in between, and then my dad's house was here. We lived on acres of land, and it was beautiful back then, okay? And my neighbor, I had some issues, and I'm going to share some things with you. I didn't look like a child. I might have been 14, but I did not look like a child, okay? And, I was very well endowed even as a kid. And, we all it was family on our road, right? It was all family. So anyway, we all kind of talked about things openly, got in each other's business, but there were certain things that even close families tried to hide. So anyway, here's my story. So growing up like family, growing up on this incredible block, I was approached in school constantly by older guys. Okay. They didn't know I was that young. I didn't look that young, and I didn't act that young. Okay. But I was approached by an older man one time, and he touched me. Put his hand up my shirt, put his hand down my pants, whispered obscenities, wanted me to do things to him. And I said to him, you have 30 seconds to get your hands off of me, or my father will be in jail for manslaughter. He did. And I knew I had to tell someone, so I told a family member. And my family member confronted him. A couple weeks later, he moved away anyway. So I felt fine. I was a tough kid. Here was my struggle. And I mean this, guys. My struggle wasn't that an older guy touched me. I won 2 beauty contests when I was young, one in school. You know, I remember older guys constantly saying things to me, and I laughed it off because I was a tough New York kid. My mother was tough. I grew up that way. That never affected me because I looked in the mirror and knew why this was happening. Okay? What affected me was this. Later on, I thought, did I let a child molester go? You see, that was something I couldn't deal with. And then I thought, did my family member do the right thing? You know, should we have done something different? Should we have called the police? Should we have told my parents? Here was the problem with all that. Back then, I will be 59 years old, guys, so back then things were very different. Today, 2 seconds, the cops come, lock his butt up. All right? My father was a tough Italian man from Italy. My father would have been in jail for manslaughter. You don't understand. I knew that. And again, things were different. So as I got a little bit older, I couldn't deal with the fact that, did I possibly let a child molester go? I'm going to tell you something. That's what made me use drugs. And I also had older cousins, stupid older cousins that gave me the drugs. I remember a cousin saying to me one time, you're no longer outside of our box. You're now in it. First time I did drugs with them. How sick and crazy is that to say to your younger cousin and even want them to do drugs? That was a terrible, terrible, terrible thing to do. All right. So now I'm going to fast forward. So all the garbage that went on back then, craziness, guys, craziness. I owned my own business way too young. I was in my 20s, a beauty salon. In the 80s, we made so much money. There was a big problem there as well because add that into the mix of doing drugs. Now I was really out of control, right? Really out of control. So I don't have to get into all the details about what went on because everybody knows what drug addicts do, what goes on. I was blessed because I was making so much money. I never robbed anyone. I never hurt anyone except my family, my daughter, you know what I mean? Myself. But I never had to go to extreme measures. I'm going to tell you what saved my life. Okay? This is what saved my life one day. Through all the insanity, through all my bad decisions, I remember waking up in a tub of ice 3 times, okay, and being told you almost died. How crazy. We didn't call 911? No, because everybody would have got arrested. How crazy was all this? God saved me. All right. So here was the final night that I knew I had to change. I had my beauty salon and I had very wealthy clients back in the day. And I had very prestigious clients. And one of my clients happened to be a municipal court judge in Mercer County. She was the boss of all the judges back then. Not only is she still a friend of mine, still in my life, I love this person. I used to meet her at the courthouse for lunch. I had a black and gold Eldorado Cadillac with Elvis license plates. The reason I'm stressing that is I was in the middle of Trenton in the middle of the night copying dope in that car. How flashy, how stupid. But now that I think back, that saved my life. My stupidness and my willingness to God, even through it all, saved my life. I was in the car with a friend of mine who I did drugs with, a girlfriend of mine, and we went to cop our dope, 1:00 in the morning in that car. And our young drug dealer in Trenton, in the middle of Trenton, didn't have our dope. So we had to put him in the back of my car, and we had to drive 2 blocks to get dope. So here we are. Think about this now. Elvis license plates, black and gold car. Are you kidding me? An unmarked police car was following us. He recognized my plates from being at the courthouse so much. He called the municipal court judge. He followed us, watched him get out of my car, go get drugs from a house, come back in my car with the bags of heroin, pulled us over, came up to my window. He said, Jerry, I called I don't want to say her name, but Judge so-and-so. She said, tell you to go home and get some sleep. Get this guy out of your car now. Got him out of my car. Threw my friend out too. Screaming, kicking and screaming. Take the dope with you. That was the night God said, it's time. I'm here to save you. So my stupidity with that flashy car was part of what helped save my life. You know, I'm going to continue the story, but I want to say this before I forget. I tell a lot of people out there, sometimes you're so smart, you're so stupid, but getting caught might be the best thing that's ever happened to you. So I go home that night and I made a decision. I was going to put myself in a rehab. I was going to have one last hurrah, see, because that's what addicts do. They always have one last hurrah. So I went away for 2 weeks with a friend, and we went to hedonism. Imagine that. No morals for the next 2 weeks, I said. Craziness. But I did it. Came back. Said, God, I'm sorry. It's time. See, I'm saying that for a reason as well, because even through the garbage and me deliberately saying I'm going to have 2 weeks of sin, God still said, I'm waiting for you. I'm still waiting for you. So I come back from this crazy vacation, changed my life, said, God, I'm here. I'm ready. I put myself in a Princeton house. When I told my family I was going into Princeton house, they were blown away. Okay, they were crying. It was unbelievable. I'll never forget that time in my life. So I spent the next 30 days. Things were a little different back then. We stayed a full month. And I came out and I did everything they told me to do, guys. I did. I got a sponsor. I went to meetings every day for 30 days. I'm going to say something, and I say this in my book. If you do not have any other support system, I was very fortunate, guys. I had a lot of family, a lot of friends. If you do not have another support system, please go to meetings if they help you. I will never tell anyone not to go to meetings, but I will tell you why they didn't work for me and why they don't work for most addicts, and that is why the percentage is so low, okay, of people getting better. So I did everything they told me to do, and the next thing I know, I'm standing up there every day saying, hi, I'm Jerry. I'm an addict. I'm powerless over my addiction disease. What? And then I'm listening to war stories. And then I'm listening to everybody talk about what they did in their addiction. Oh, I'm so-and-so. I'm 5 years clean and sober today. Let me tell you, I remember falling on the floor. I remember passing out. Ha, 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 ha. What? No. That was not for me. Okay, not even a little bit. After 30 days, they gave you that coin. I said, Lord, I'm giving this coin to you because you are now going to be 100% my Lord and Savior. And here's the thing. I don't need a coin from them, and I am not powerless. You told me that in the Bible, okay? You died for my sins. That means I'm worth it. I am so far from powerless, okay? We have to change our thoughts. We have to change our actions. We have to give it to God, okay? We can't do it alone. See, here's the thing. If I truly believed I was it, I'm my higher power, I'm it, I would be dead today, okay? My higher power is God. My Lord and Savior is Jesus. If I didn't have God, I would be dead today. So now, let's talk about what goes on and what used to go on and what should go on in these rooms. See, AA was, I believe, 100% an amazing creation, okay? Things have changed. NA, forget it, okay? People are still high at the meetings. Not everybody. People still go high. People sell drugs outside NA meetings. Listen, it's another addiction. It's just another addiction that the majority of addicts have. Not all, but the majority. Obviously, if the statistics are 7, 8, 9% of people that get well and stay clean and sober, I'm right. Okay? So I'm not giving you an opinion. I'm giving you facts. So Bill W., he was I think he was the originator, one of the ones who started AA. And Bill W.'s intent was amazing. I learned something that I didn't know when I wrote my book, and I'm going to put it in the revised issue. So he struggled with depression, suicide issues, okay, everything. And he approached, I think, a friend of his who, I don't think he was an American doctor. Okay, I'm not sure. He wasn't an American doctor, though. And he said, I need help. Well, guess what the doctor put him on? Niacin, a vitamin, a natural vitamin, the one that allows you to sweat. Why? Because it gets all the toxins out of your body. It rids you of everything, all the garbage coming out of your cells. Now, I'm going to talk to you about that a little bit. Bill W. approached AA and said, we have to give all the addicts niacin. Do you know what they told him? See, corporate America now infiltrated AA and said, it's not happening. We need to keep them addicts. Did you hear what I just said? They want to keep them addicts. There's no profit in healing. Do you understand that? Okay. Where do the drugs come in? Think about it. The government flies them in. Think about it. All right. So, am I outspoken? Absolutely. There's reasons why. I'm trying to make everyone out there understand we're being manipulated and used. Okay? We're pawns in this sick game of chess they have. So now I'm going to share with you a couple more things. All right? Niacin is an incredible way to get rid of toxins. If you're going to buy it, listen to me carefully. You need to buy the one that says that you sweat, okay? Because that's the only way. So now the vitamin company said, oh, people aren't really using it because they don't like the sweating. So we're going to make a new niacin that you don't sweat. So now people are buying that. It's not helping. You're wasting your money, okay? Go to a really good health food store, not a CVS, none of those. Go to a health food store, go online, get one that's natural, organic, processed properly. Okay, guys, I mean this. Storms cadence. Yes, baby. There is no profit in healing. Yes. Okay. So do what I'm telling you. Niacin can help all of you. Okay, guys. Now, that wasn't enough for me. I had to change my entire life. You see, here's the thing. I also had 2 cancers back in the day, colon cancer, breast cancer. I traveled all over the world, guys. I followed a man. I went and met him in Tennessee, George Malcolmus. They sent him home to die. He had colon cancer back in the day. I was 30 years old, so we're going back almost 30 years ago. He had colon cancer that went to his bones. And guess what? They sent him home to die. He said, there's got to be something better. And he figured out fasting was the way to heal. He's still alive, guys, to this day. He's retired in Hawaii. Okay. Hallelujah Acres. Check it out. His son now has the company. I met him. I studied under him. I saved myself through fasting. I went on a 60-day water fast. I had a colonic system in my home. Nothing, not a vitamin, nothing. Starved my body. Here's the concept of fasting. Animals do it. If an animal is sick, they will not eat. Starve a fever, feed a cold. Our ancestors knew. They knew. Okay? No one has ever died of fasting. They've died breaking a water fast if they didn't know how to properly do it. But that's why you have to study and learn, and I can help anyone out there. All right? Concept of fasting is this. When you stop putting any food or nutrients into your body, only water, your body still needs to eat. The brilliance of our body is it eats off of itself. It's so brilliant, it eats the sick cells first. That's right. Did you hear me? It eats the sick cells first. It eats the disease. Okay? When it's done for that period of time, you will wake up one day starving. After 3 days, you will have no more hunger. You will be very weak with a water fast. You have to stay in. You can't leave the house. Do it in the summer or the spring. You can't do it in the winter. You can't leave the house. Okay, guys? That's extreme. You can't just do that. You would have to be guided. So I did that. Guess what? Cured myself twice. Now I'm going to say something to you. Juice fast. Everyone can do juice fast. You can work with them and all that. All right? I can guide you in any of these things. You no longer have to be sick. You no longer have to be... Listen, there are ways. I can show you all of them. Okay? Listen, if you get in touch with me and tell me that you heard all this because of my radio show today, no fee to you. Okay? I will not charge you. I will help save your life. All right? So let's get that straight. Now, I'm just reading what you guys are typing. Very cool. All right. So now I'm going to share something else with you guys. Other countries, the majority of countries that do not pay for healthcare, the governments want to keep them healthy. I've been all over the world. I even went to Russia when it was communist in the 80s through Lenox Hill Hospital. I went behind the scenes in hospitals. Okay. Countries that pay your health insurance, health benefits, take care of you. They want to keep you healthy. They don't allow any of the garbage we allow in our foods. They don't allow the sugars in the foods that we do. They don't allow high fructose corn syrup. They don't allow GMOs. Think about that, because they want to keep their people healthy because it benefits them. Okay? I went behind the scenes in Australia because I go there. I have a lot of friends there. And a few years ago when I was last there, they took me to McDonald's. I said, I'm not eating at McDonald's. They said, why, mate? I said, because it's not real food. They said, come on, I want to show you. Well, they let me go behind the scenes. I told them I was an American, and I took photos and everything. And they were cracking real eggs, organic eggs. They even had an organic bar, coffee bar, organic teas, organic almond milk. Imagine that at McDonald's. We are so messed up here in this country with what we allow them to do to us. Okay? Now, there's so much more I want to go off on, but we're going to stay on topic today. All right? So now, let's talk about addiction with prescription drugs. I'm all for... all right. I had a severe accident. I had an accident almost 2 years ago. My dad was in hospice. Okay? He had Alzheimer's. And I was sleeping there for like 4 or 5 nights with him. And he was out of it, thank you, God. We kept him under, so he didn't know this happened. And he was skin and bones by then. And I was sleeping for 4 or 5 nights in a recliner they had, an old-fashioned wooden recliner, like a 200-pound chair with the bar. Remember those days, guys? It wasn't electric. So anyway, about 6 o'clock in the morning, I hear his breathing patterns change. It wakes me up. I go to push the bar down. The chair won't go down. I'm trying to get off of this chair. The chair flips over on top of me across my dad's legs. Well, the problem was it was like a double mattress. I'm 5'4". I was kind of hanging off the bed, but the chair was on my back straight. I couldn't get help. I couldn't scream for help. We were in a corner room. I didn't know what to do, but I knew one thing. I said, I have to stay with this chair to get off, or else it's going to fall and break my back. So I put my right foot in that slit at the bottom. I held onto the chair underneath with my left arm, and I pushed off my father until me in the chair finally, bang, 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 went back. I got off the chair. I was in pain, my right arm, my right foot, my left knee, my lower back, but nothing was broken. I said, Lord, thank you so much. I'm okay. My dad did pass that night, so that was the last thing on my mind. They didn't even know in the hospital this happened, which was probably stupid on my part, but I wasn't even thinking about that. I've never sued anyone in my life. All I knew was God healed me before. He's going to do it again. My dad died that night. Okay. Within 30 days, of course, my foot was this big, my knee. They said I twisted the meniscus in my left knee so bad it was going to take a year to heal. No surgery. I opted out. I got the shot. I had no choice. I was in a knee brace. I had a cane. I had to get a shot in this arm. I couldn't move it. I was paralyzed. You have no idea. And my right foot still to this day isn't right. So I am the first one to say, when necessary. Do you understand what I'm saying? When necessary, yes. Meds are there for that purpose and that purpose only. Not what's happening today with us. Come on. We're abusing meds like it's candy. Here's the funny part about everything. So I don't go to doctors. I haven't been to a doctor in over 20 years until I had to for this. Okay? Within 5 minutes of them meeting me, they already know, listen, it's not happening. So they'll laugh, write the prescription, and say, I have to hand it to you. And I rip it up in front of them and say, thank you. So I didn't take any pain pills through all that. 1 year, I was in so much pain, a knee brace, a cane, sleeping on my couch for a year. I never took any pain meds. Okay? When it got super bad, I took an Advil. All right? Listen to me. When necessary. But with what we're doing today and how we're abusing the meds. And here's the funny part. When I try to help people get off their meds they're addicted to, and I say, let's use something natural. Let me tell you about this, this, and this. You know what they say to me? Are there any side effects to that? I heard there's side effects to soy. I heard there's side effects to that. I laugh in their faces. You're taking 8 meds. Did you ask the doctor one of them? You've got 1,000 side effects. The reason you're on 8 meds is because that med gave you a side effect here, so now you have to take that med for that, and so forth. That's what happens. But I try to tell you to do something natural. And the other thing is this. Once we acknowledge what I'm saying is true, then we do have to take responsibility. And responsibility means work, hard work, right, guys? And I understand. Listen, I know it's not easy. Believe me when I tell you I know it's not easy. But it can help heal you, save your life. You know, I'm not afraid of dying because I'm meeting Jesus Christ when I die. It's my Lord and Savior. I'll be in heaven. Listen, away from all this crap, right? I don't care. I'm not afraid of dying, but I'm afraid of living sick. I watched my mother go through 9 heart attacks till she finally had one that killed her. Obesity. She was obese. Listen, it was craziness. She allowed that to happen. So I don't want to live like that. And I'm not afraid to die, but I'm afraid to live unhealthy. There's a big difference. Quality of life should mean something. Okay, what's the point of living if we can't have that? So, you know, addiction. Let's talk about food. Okay? My brother was addicted to food. He was obese as a child. I think he was like 12 pounds. He almost killed my mom. Back then, again, you know, he'll be 60. Things were very different. They didn't know what to do. So he obviously had issues, but we didn't know, or they didn't know. And my mother fed him and fed him and fed him because that's what Italian mothers did. She would give him a bowl of meatballs, his favorite thing, when he was upset or crying. Or he would get, you know, bullied at school, called fat every day. I was this tiny little peanut, okay? I was 6 pounds at birth. I was this tiny little tough kid in a Catholic school uniform at the time, and I would punch people in their faces. I had a juvenile delinquent card at 10 years old because I was defending my brother. And then they would beat me up, and I didn't care. I would come home weekly with bruises and laugh and say, I don't care, Mommy, I don't care. I don't care that they hit me back. I don't care that they beat me up and almost killed me. I defended my brother, who was older than me but fat. Today, my brother lived. He's still alive. Listen to this. My brother at 600 pounds, most of his life, 600 pounds, never took any meds. He listened to me with most things. He still ate a pretty decent diet, never had any high blood pressure, okay? At 600 pounds. Today, he lost over 350 pounds. He did it on his own through a plant-based diet, guys. He's incredible. So anything is possible. Nothing is impossible. All right? So now, addiction. Let's talk about the addict and how powerless they really are. If they're powerless, how come they can figure out how to get the money to get the drug? They can figure out when they're going to do the drug, where they need to be and what they need to do, not to get caught. I read something too, right? It said they never shut up in front of a police officer because they had power over their decision. Does that make sense? They had power over their decision that they chose to make. So if they were powerless, thanks, Storms, I'll let them know. Mackie's getting hungry listening to me. Meatballs, right, Mackie? Get veggie meatballs. Yum. Anyway, so if addicts are that powerless, I'm going to tell you how it would really go. If the addict is your child or a husband or a family member, and you come home, you would find that addict screaming and crying on the floor more than not that they need their drug. And that doesn't usually happen. I'm not saying it'll never happen, but that doesn't usually happen. That addict will be so hungry for their drug, they will now leave the house if they have to steal a car, if they have to steal money to get public transportation, if they have to figure out when their parent is going to be home and where the parent hides their wallet or their pocketbook to get the money, and they know exactly, they've got it all figured out. Are you kidding me? That is not being powerless. Okay? Now, let's take it a step further. If they are powerless, okay, would this also happen? Would they be able to say, you know what? I want that drug. You know why I'm going to try that drug? Because I found out somebody died using that drug. That means it's a good drug. I'm not going to die because I know I'm not going to use as much as that idiot did. But that drug's powerful. It's a good drug. You see, they've already got everything worked out. So they already know what's happening. So now how about this one? You know what? Let me go into the rehab one more time because the courts are telling me that I might go to jail. I really don't want to go to jail. All right, let me go in the rehab. I know I have to stay clean and sober for the 30 days. Okay, I can do it. But when I get out, boy, I know where I'm going. They just said everything they're going to do. They made a plan. They're not powerless. Now, let's talk about the disease and the disease. The good news is, yes, you have a dis-ease of the brain cells. You do while using, of course. So I'm kind of different with how I go about approaching addicts, especially family members and good friends. I've actually kidnapped 3. Oh, yeah, I did. That's right. And they'll tell you that, so I'm not hiding it. Those 3 family members will confirm everything I'm saying. I kidnapped with the help of his wife. I was probably 35 years old. I had a big house in Robbinsville and a big basement. My cousin was a heroin addict. He's older than me. He's probably 65 now. I hope he's not younger. He'll kill me. Anyway, we kidnapped him, brought him. He thought he was just spending a weekend. We locked him in my basement. Do you understand that? And he was a big guy. I wasn't afraid of him and his addiction. Locked him in my basement. We would put food under the door. My brother had to guard the windows. We put stuff on the outside windows. He was trying to get out. To this day, he's never touched heroin. And to this day has thanked me for that. Okay? I kidnapped 2 other family members. I don't care because this is why. And I'm going to say something that's just so politically not correct in the addiction world. All right? I'm not going to wait for my family member to die. I believe they have a disease of the brain cells, so they're not thinking clear. Absolutely. So they need you to help them. So kidnap them. I don't care what it takes. If they're kicking and screaming, I don't care if they lock them in a friggin' trunk. Take them to get them help so that in 30 days at least they can start thinking a little more clear. Just a little bit. Because at that point, guys, then it is a choice. Once you can get them to start thinking a little bit clear, okay, maybe they can make clever choices, right? Change their choices. If they believe that they now didn't have to do a drug for 30 days because you cared that much. I'm going to add something. Okay, this is important. They also teach the addict in these programs that you have to be selfish. You have to do it for you, not a family member, not even a child, not a parent. BS. If I had to do it for me, I wouldn't be here today. When that cop let me go, this is what went through my mind. Oh my goodness. My poor family, my poor kid. Oh my gosh. What am I doing? My daughter needs her mother. My parents need their daughter. Oh my goodness, I have a good family. I can't get arrested. Oh my goodness, I have to do this for them. Addicts are the most selfish people in the world while using. Okay? They can't do it for them. If you could turn that switch a little bit, make them understand why they now have to do it for their child, for their parent, for someone that matters more to them than themselves. They don't matter to themselves, or they wouldn't be doing heroin. You get it? We have to change everything they're being taught in these rooms. So, my book, I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. I'll make a deal with you guys. Anyone wants my book? From this show, I will mail it to you for free, autographed. I'll even pay shipping. That's how much I'm serious about this, and I love you guys out there. Okay? Anyone who cannot afford this book, and you are watching my show today, I will send this book to you autographed. Got it? You inbox me your address. My book can save lives because I'm a no-nonsense person. I have a YouTube video out that Danielle Petito, no relation, a beautiful young girl. She's going to school. That's what she's in, film school. She's awesome, incredible. I love her. She did me a favor because I had her on my show, and she's welcome anytime. Okay, and she did a YouTube video. Go on my YouTube channel and check it out. My book ain't for wimps. Only if you're not a wimp, open it up and take a look. Okay, so. I'm going to be coming to the close of the show soon, guys. I only have a few minutes left. This is part 1. So in 2 weeks at 12:30 Wednesday, 2 weeks, okay, guys, from today, every other Wednesday with Damon Looks, I will be doing part 2 of this show. Only if you can handle it, okay? So message me if you caught the show. I want to say thank you to everybody out there. I want to say thank you to Damon Looks for giving me this incredible opportunity. This is unbelievable. Okay, Brother O, I love you. This is awesome. And listen, we all got to work together, right? And unfortunately, I'm going to say this again. Every single one of us out there knows someone struggling with addiction. So I'm going to read my closing poem to you guys, okay? Actually, no, I'm not yet. I have a couple more minutes. My show ends at 2. So let me wait a couple more minutes. I'll talk to you guys and then I'll read the poem. That's how I will be closing my shows, with my poem. So anyway, I see everybody out there. David Mackey, an incredible, counselor on addiction, especially for men with sexual addiction. Okay. He's there. David Mackey, Mackey, guys. Check him out on Facebook. Okay. He's now in Florida. He can help you guys. Okay. He can. Let's see what else. And yes, Dominic, listen, you're right. Addicts are some of the most clever people you'll ever meet. You're absolutely right. I'm just going to put it out there. I've said what I had to say about that, and you are 100% right. And no, I've never been politically correct because I don't believe in that garbage. All right. I will never be part of anything political. Please. I'm going to tell you what I did do Monday. I was in Trenton at the War Memorial Building. I was protesting with my daughter in the freezing rain. It was like a winter day that day. Okay. We had ponchos on. It was craziness. Okay. And we were there for choice of vaccines. Not anti-vaccines, choice, because my grandkids have never been vaccinated, and I want to keep it that way. If you're choosing to vaccinate, that's okay, but I'm choosing not to. That should also be okay. My unvaccinated grandchild can't hurt your child or your grandchild if they're vaccinated, if you believe vaccines work. Got it? All right. That'll be another 3-series show. I can't wait for that one. And I did get to take a picture with Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who was also there protesting and speaking. It was incredible. All right. So I'm going to wait another minute before I read my poem. But guys, I just want to say thank you to everybody out there listening. I need a favor from every one of you. Can you please share this YouTube? Please share this. This is the only way we're going to get all this out, that I'm doing these shows on YouTube. We need to make this a success, because all of my shows are here to empower and help people. All right. So, Mackie, you don't need presence on Facebook. I'm talking about if anyone knows anyone in Florida or wants to send someone, they can call you and you can be their counselor. Okay. So that's what I mean. So check him out, everybody out there. All right. You know what? Now I can say it. Guys, I want to thank everybody out there for listening to the Jerry Petito Show and watching me on Damon Looks, my new show on YouTube. I will be back in 2 weeks, Wednesday at 12:30, guys. New time, 12:30 to 1:30 every other Wednesday. So you can catch me in 2 weeks, okay? In 2 weeks, okay? I just shared Mackie's info. There you go. Get in touch with him. I am going to read my poem, and then if I have a minute, I'll still talk to you guys. The Jerry Petito Show. Imagine that. I have 4 shows. I can't believe it was me they chose. First Hamilton Radio, then on PANJ, Beverly Nation Online, Talk Shoe Radio, make way. Brother O informed me, my shows are flying high. Now on Damon Network, Damon Looks will reach the sky. I can't believe the call. Good news from me to you. I'm nominated for Hall of Fame. Brother O rocks, it's true. I was even named the Jersey Jewel by Brother O. Damn, that's cool. My nickname on the other shows, Jerry the Smartass, because of my logos. Doc G started this. It's all because of you. Then I met Rob Bell on Vinny's show. It's true. Brother O watched my shows and said, please come along. If you do, I promise, with me, you can't go wrong. For those who know me and those who don't, to keep me silent, you can't, you won't. My show will be to keep it real on how I see it and how I feel. To tell the truth and expose the lies. Get out of the dark. Let's open our eyes. If you want to get healthy or learn how to live, then just listen to me. Inspiration I give. If addiction's your struggle, no matter which one, I wrote the book on addiction. That battle I've won. I'm not an addict. I'm just an ass is the title of my book. Check it out. You won't regret the minute you take a look. But a lot of info, I sure do know. So tune in and learn stuff on the Jerry Petito Show. I have 1 more minute to tell you. I have now been picked up by, are you ready? Remember Then Radio, guys. I will be starting that show the second Wednesday in June, 2 to 3 p.m. live on Facebook. What's happening here today is unbelievable. I have a good shot to be in the International Internet Hall of Fame 2019. I will know by November. I just want to say thank you to everybody out there. And with that, I think we are going to be signing off in less than 1 minute. The Jerry Petito Show on Damon Looks. I will see you back here on YouTube 2 weeks from today, 12:30 to 1:30, guys. What an amazing, amazing show. Yes. Okay. Woohoo.